You're a rude guy. Why is everyone muted?
Because we're waiting for you to fucking start the thing. I almost
That
died.
was unnecessarily long, bro. That was unnecessarily long. There was no need.
You guys were both gone.
Yeah, Prime, I didn't realise you went and came back.
Yeah, I went to the Man United one to tell them to bring people over when they're finished. OJ, this is your stream. Go.
Bro, what's going on, people? Anyway, we're here. A bit of a Q&A. We're just going to talk about just a bit of a rant as well. It's a ranting show today. So we're just going to vent off some of our frustrations, mainly me venting off my frustration as a Liverpool fan, because these two pricks don't have nothing to vent about. And
Lies.
yeah, guys, yeah, well, 2.5 men. And yeah, so
fuck off.
I'm sorry.
You're over 18, Prime, so you are the man.
Are you even a man?
Well, yeah, we're both over 18.
O'Shea acts like he's 34. He's 20 years old, okay? You're 4 years
old. Why
old.
are you my age like that?
Exactly. Even Will could make O'Shea go shops. Embarrassing.
No, don't say stuff like that. Prime, because you know, bro. Listen, anyway, back to the main show. Yeah, we're here. Basically, it's a Q&A. So ask us any questions about football. Don't be asking us mad questions like how many gal you man get or anything, because it's just gonna be peak for these two. And then pretty much a venting show about football.
Wait, sorry, what did you say, Andrew?
No, don't say that. Don't repeat that. He's baiting you, fam. Don't say the last bit. He's baiting.
Prime got to rant about Fator getting. Wait, who? The only one he has is Astrid, and I don't want her. So relax. Yes, Winter.
Lord. What a start to the
show.
No,
listen, Velv. Yeah, I don't really know you, yeah, but I allow all of this sexual talk, fam. Like, it's a bit mad, bro. It's a bit mad.
It's a bit mad. Sus. What's wrong with being sus, O'Shea? You got something you need to tell us, you know?
I don't even mean sus, but it's just a bit mad, bro. Like,
yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. You don't need to take it that deep. Fucking hell.
That's what she said.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Guys, for those of you that are just tuning in, yeah, this is a football show, by the way. It was supposed to be. Yeah.
You're right, O'Shea. It's your show. You need to get
okay, let's talk about football. Let's talk about football. Have you guys watched any international games?
Yeah, I watched the England game.
Okay, let's talk about the England game. Southgate has heard all of you England fans continuously moaning about putting Trent in the team, playing Trent in midfield. Not only did he play Trent in midfield, he played, Reece James right back. He played in midfield of hard-working players that would cover for him. He played Bukayo Saka at the left wing, a hard-working player who will also cover for him. And Trent stunk out the gaff in midfield. Embarrassing.
He's not a midfielder. He's not a midfielder. You can't violate Trent.
Complain about Trent.
Why then when Reece James dropped more centrally, why does he play better than Trent? Reece James isn't a midfielder. No,
because
excuse.
Players
wait a minute. No, you're not getting out of this one. Your generational right back should be able to do a shift in midfield against Andorra.
Well, he couldn't. He's not played midfield
you know what?
ever.
I didn't even watch most of the game because I was playing career mode because I can't be fucked with England right now. Yeah, I don't. To be fair, I think Southgate is overhated. To be fair, I don't know. I don't get why. I mean, I get he's not everyone's cup of tea. I don't really like his football, but he got to the Euros final and lost on penalties. There's not really much more he could do, to be completely honest.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, we should have won that final anyway. Let's not even get into that because clear cheating. Me and Prime had this debate the other day. Will, answer me one question. I don't want a big long monologue.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
not going to do a monologue.
Yeah? Yes or no? That's a red card offence, Chiellini on Saka. That is an automatic red card. It's not even...
No,
you can't do that in the game of football. You can't grab somebody.
You can't. That's why it was a foul. You can't. That's why it was a yellow card. Yeah.
And you'd be so tough. That's a dangerous play. You don't just get red cards for dangerous play. You can also get red cards for extraordinarily ridiculous.
So you just made up a rule.
So if Van Dijk was to stop in the middle of a game, walk up to Lukaku and just push him,
but that's not what happened. Saka got past him and he brought him down. It was a yellow card.
He didn't bring him down. He waited for him to get past him. He then grabbed him and yanked him to the ground. It's not the same as doing a bad tackle and bringing him down. Yeah, but there's a difference, though, isn't there? Between bringing somebody down and
grabbing him down by grabbing his shirt.
He didn't grab his shirt. He grabbed hold of him and pulled him down. He yanked him
of his shirt.
It wasn't his shirt. It was his. It's a red card defense. In a Premier League game, you'd be sent off for that.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I'm sorry. That is bullshit. That is crap. Utter crap.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe it would be in the Premier League, but it doesn't matter.
It does matter, bro, because what you said to me the other day is rubbish.
Officiating in the Premier League is different from officiating in the Champions League. So
the rules of football. There's no different rules.
Do you know what makes me more sad though than Saka being brought down like that? Yeah, the fact that like ever since the racist abuse happened, like even by some people, not all people, obviously it is a minority of people, but the cunts on social media, some of the people that were near the game, whether that's at a pub or whatever. Ever since that, I don't really feel as connected to supporting England as a whole. Like I like the group of players. I want them to win if they play. But honestly, international football, I watch it because I like I can watch. It's a time where I can watch football with people that in my family and like close friends that don't like football. I guess it's like everything all coming together. But to be fair, if I'm being completely honest, I couldn't care less what happens on the international football now. As long as the Chelsea player does well, if that's Azpilicueta winning the World Cup with Spain, fair play to him. I hope he does really well. Obviously, I want England to win probably more, but I don't care if it's Jorginho winning, Azpilicueta, Chilwell, Mount. It could be fucking anyone. I just want Chelsea players to do well. It could be Lukaku. I'm honestly, I'm sick of international football.
To be honest with you, I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, when it comes to the whole racism thing with football, they obviously don't want to solve it because I'm quite an abrupt guy. You get me? I don't deal with isms and schisms and deliberating. I'm very cutthroat in my decision making and how my brain thinks. So it's quite simple. If you want to stop racism, then you have to be balls to the wall in every single incident. So as soon as there's monkey noises, stop the game immediately. All players go into the dressing room. The game's cancelled. You have to be like that. You have to waste money. You have to waste people's time. If you want to stop racism, then you have to do that upon every single incident. So as soon as there's monkey noises, the game stops. That's it. Game cancelled. We're not going to.
It is that, O'Shea, but it's also this isn't even just, it's not even just in football. This is rooted in our country. You got parents that are old fashioned. They'll say a slur, which could be either sexist, homophobic, or racist. Their kids won't know that it's that. They'll say it, then the chain continues, and it's going to take a fucking while for that to stop.
You know what? That's the problem with England as a whole. Yeah, I've noticed with Great Britain, we kind of live in this society where we portray to the outside world that we're a civilized country. We're England. We've got free healthcare and free education, and our police don't have guns, and it's very civilized and safe. Well, in reality, the racism in this country, and it's not just look. I don't believe in this rubbish of unconscious bias, but there's no such thing as unconscious bias. You are aware of what you're doing. If you do not employ me in a job, or two people are standing in a queue and you assume that the white guy next to me is first, that isn't unconscious. You know what you're doing. So this country, for me, has a very, very racist, seedy sort of undertone.
It's ingrained in Britain's history, and this is why. I don't really think that statues of slave traders should be out in a town centre. Yeah, I don't think it should be in a town centre. But
this is supposed to be around.
Well, no, we're linking into football, so it is an issue. You've got I don't think they should be put in a pond or a river, because we need to learn from this. We need to change our history. This needs to be in a museum, and all kids need to be educated with certain slurs, with certain words. I don't care. you teach. You can even in primary school. You can teach kids what to say and what not to say. You can do group meetings at schools with parents to not tell their kid to say this and put tougher actions on them that do.
Thoughts, Wayne?
Obviously, I'm probably older than all you lot, and racism I've noticed in football is just it's never going to go away, fortunately, and no matter how much we want it to go away because it's not fair, it's just ridiculous what they do. It's just as fortunately some idiots out there think they are above the law. So unfortunately, the racism is never going to stop, and I wish there's a way, but it's just never going to stop. It's never.
Has it got? I mean, like you said, you're a bit older than us. Do you think it's gotten better a bit, or has it gotten worse?
It's got worse.
Yeah, especially now
worse,
with
a lot
social
worse.
media, people can be anonymous.
Do you know where I agree? Yeah, I agree with Wayne in the sense of it's never going to go, and it's the same with society as a whole. Racism is never going to go because people are always going to be born, and people are always going to be born with mentalities. People are always going to be born to do things. It's like saying in an ideal world, are all murderers and rapists all of a sudden going to leave? No, it's never going to happen because people are born and people choose to do things. So of course, racism is never going to go. But what you can do, if FIFA or UEFA or the Premier League, in a World Cup final, are seen to stop the game in a World Cup final and go, no, this is cancelled. We're not going to do this. We'll do this next week, or we'll do this when we see fit. If a Champions League, if there's 3 incidents of racism in a Champions League game, in Champions League games, and all 3 of those matches get completely cancelled, then eventually it will be slowed down to the rate of where people are going to stop what they're doing. People are going to stop. People are going to realize and go, you know what, this isn't worth it. If there's racism in a Champions League final and you cancel the game, you find out who those people were, you ban them from ever going to future games, period, and then you cancel the game and restart it at a later date. People are then going to learn from the mistake. Of course, but
you then need a big example to be set, I guess. Like for example, remember a few years ago when they were saying stuff like the 3-strike warning for international games, and then England played a game, I think, directly after that was giving out.
Bulgaria, I think
I was told, and they were playing in like a racist country or something, I think.
Bulgaria. Remember right, it's Bulgaria.
Nothing happened. Or like, for example, your first game you played against Hungary, Sterling and and stuff, they were getting bottles and stuff thrown at them. And then Southgate coming out and saying he didn't hear, which again, to be fair, I do understand why he said it. So I don't necessarily, not necessarily coming for him, but it's a thing of people should come out and take an active stand. Like if maybe it takes players walking off a pitch, and disrupting a World Cup final or Champions League final for it to make an actual difference. Because
what you're saying,
after the sorry, Wayne. Do you mind if I just say this? Yeah, after the Bulgaria game, that incident of racism, then, and I was disgusted by the racism that they gave to our players was absolutely disgusting, vile human beings that did that. But that's not even where the racism ends, because then you've got people in England that will look at those Bulgarian fans and then they'll have something against Bulgarians in general. I had a Bulgarian teacher, and certain people in my school disgustingly were like saying horrible, nasty shit to her the next day. And then that leads on to more racism, which then puts do you get what I mean? It all leads on to each other.
Yeah. Exactly. And then you have, because it goes from both sides then. So you have English people hating Bulgarians, saying they're all racist, which just Bulgarian people would then hate English people, and it's just a back and forth of like nonsense and stupidity. Like I don't think you can blame a whole race or country or culture or whatever just for some stupid minority individuals.
So what I say
Yeah,
about football is, well, you saying about walking off and everything, and I agree with you, but then what you're doing is some of the majority of the crowd who's there, who's not doing the racism or not doing anything like that, are the ones that are suffering because they've come out to support the teams and enjoy themselves, and some of them actually come with families with little kids, and that's getting taken away from them, and then. Do you mean? And these days, as we know, it's harder to get them time off to go to football matches if they're in the evening times, in the weekdays. So sometimes it's one of those things. Is if there's a way of cutting it out to like life balance of people who I have been done by racism, but not stopping the matches and stopping that, it'd be better off. But this world,
it has to be abrupt,
we're never
brother. It
going
has
to
to be
change. It's
abrupt.
never going to change. No matter what we
Wait,
want,
wait.
it's never going to change.
Wait, Wayne, I appreciate your point and I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, sometimes many have to suffer for a right cause, and that's how you have to learn. Like I was raised with a very stern sort of mentality. If one of us fucked up in the house, all of us got punished. You understand? So that's the reality of how people learn. At the end of the day, those who don't hear will feel. That's an old West Indian saying. I'm sure Prime's heard that saying before. Those who don't hear will feel. Yeah. So at the end of the day, sometimes others may have to suffer for you to learn, because then the finger gets pointed at you. So at the end of the day, as much as I love, for example, Liverpool, and I love going to games, if I have to get my money wasted and my trip to Anfield cancelled because a knobhead is being racist, I'm happy for that, because if it means that will teach other fans who go to the game in future with the mentality and intention of saying something racist, and that will teach them not to say something, then so be it. If that has to happen every single day, if every single 38 games of Liverpool's Premier League matches have to be cancelled because some knobhead decided to do monkey noises, then so be it.
Or play
You understand?
behind closed doors or something like that.
Or
If
maybe
that-
reduction, or maybe teams get points reduction.
Yeah.
But then no, but that's not even a thing. That's for me. No, not even that, because that's not good enough either. Because you will get other, you'll get pricks that may go on to other teams. Other team will may pretend to be fans from other clubs just to do that. You will get that. You can't rule anything out in this world, so you can't do that. What you have to do is be abrupt. And as soon as there's monkey noises heard in the stadium, every single player needs to just stop, walk straight up. I don't want to see no what's going on, what's that, and any nothing. No, just as soon as it's done, like robots, just stop and walk straight under the tunnel. All the officials go under the tunnel, and the stewards need to start ushering people out the ground and just end it as abrupt.
O'Shea, do you know what? There's it's such a shame, because I feel like it's not even just of course, predominantly racism in football is against black people. It is predominantly against black people normally, isn't it? But I hear casual chants sometimes when going to football games. Normally it's not in the stadium, but it could be. And I'm not saying this. I've not experienced this at Chelsea, but other grounds, they've mocked Asian people, gay people, travellers as well.
Discrimination period. Discrimination period. As soon as you hear any sort of discrimination in the ground, as soon as you hear any sort of racism, prejudice, anything you hear in the ground of any sort of discrimination, the game needs to be stopped immediately. I don't want to see, like when Mbappe was running over to the when one of the officials said something, and Mbappe was running over and saying, "Don't say that. What you do?" I don't even want to see that. Like, I want you to act like a robot. Just walk off the pitch. Don't make no noises. Don't make no sounds. Don't talk to nobody. Stop what you're doing. All 22 players, stop what you're doing and walk straight under the tunnel. And then I want to see the managers and the officials do the same thing. And then it should cut straight to the pundits. And the pundits can say, we had racism. This is the end of the game. That's it. Boom. End of the show. Simple as that. And as crazy as that may sound for some people, that's how you have to be. But football's not going to, unfortunately, no organization is ever going to fund that. They're never going to do that. So,
The thing is,
And
this
no
country, I hate to
footballers,
say this to this country, but this country needs to learn from the beginning. Like you said before, it needs to be coming from the kids learning, because there's kids who are growing up that do learn that respect and do learn about racism and everything. And it's like myself, and I respect everyone for who they are as human beings. And that's it. It's not about the colours, not about the sex, it's not about who you are. It's just, for me, it's who you are inside, and we're all the same people. And that's what it should be brought up as. But unfortunately, there's more morons in this country that think it's all right to bring kids up to be racism and be sexual and all that, and think it's right, and it isn't. And I just wish we can find a way of bringing the proper etiquette for the kids to learn, because like I've been all my life, I won't lie to you guys now, I'm going to say something a bit personal here, but all my life I got bullied, and I got bullied hard to the point where I got bricks back on my head walking home from school by a random person who's wound up and got a brick and smashed my back of my head, knocked me out. I've been beaten up numerous occasions to the point where I had to move house, leave. I've just had it bad, but that's because of my weight. And that's, for me, that's similar to racism. I got bullied because of my weight, because they didn't like how I looked. To me, it's same with racism. That's why I've always been, I can't say the word, sympathetic with you guys who have been through it. And that's why my blood boils, because it should be stopped. We shouldn't be doing that as a country. We should be all together as one, enjoying like football, for example. We're all different people, all come together for the same love of watching our team play football. And that should be enjoyed. Do you mean?
Exactly. And
do you know what? If I was at a Chelsea game, let's say an away fan did something racist. Let's say they racially abused one of any of the players. It doesn't matter what team. I would want the players to walk off the pitch.
Yeah, I would. I would. Whether it was a Liverpool fan or not, I would as well. I wouldn't
care if I paid 35 quid to go on the train there and 10, 15 quid back or whatever. I wouldn't care how much my ticket costs. I wouldn't care. Because if that's, as O'Shea said, if that's going to help stop, maybe not stop it, but if that's going to help against the fight against racism, 27 quid for a ticket to a football game is nothing compared to. Do you get what I mean? It's not much.
Yeah, I get what. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. I just wanted to say, bro. I did on to that point. Listen, Wayne, thank you for sharing that, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. Bullying as a whole, man, is.
Did O'Shea cut out?
Yeah, he cut out. I think.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But I get what he's trying to say. Bullying, and no matter if it's, I don't know what it is with people, but like when it comes to discriminating against someone because of their, weight or the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or their gender, like it's fine. For me, it's just so stupid. Like I went through it in school, stuff like that as well. I know Will did. The majority of people I've spoken to have, and it's just, it saddens me because I don't know. Life is life, and I guess you can't control the way some people think and feel. So fair enough. But in terms of football or not private, but in like sports, I think you can control, the likes of racism. You can sort it out. It's quite easy to do, but the organizations and powers that be, it's not even the fact that they don't care because it doesn't affect their pockets.
I want to thank you as well, Wayne, for coming on and telling us, because I know it must be hard to speak about stuff like that. So thank you.
It is, but I trust you. I trust you guys. That's why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't come on here and open up if I didn't trust you lot. So,
Yeah, you're a caring guy, Wayne. You're a very caring guy.
well, I've been brought up like that. My you say about travellers.
Yeah.
I'm traveller as well,
Okay. Yeah.
and I've been brought family orientated. You look after each other. You treat the people how you want to be treated. So I respect everyone. Unless you treat me with no respect, you always get my respect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? To be fair, that's probably the most casual discrimination I've had the sadness to hear is against travellers.
Trust me, I've had a lot. So I've been brought up, but I've been brought up some bad stuff, and I would never. Obviously, there's loads I could tell you guys, loads. But what all you need to know is, whatever you go through, whatever it is. I mean, everyone in the chat who's ever is listening, and you got me on Twitter. If you ever go for something and you just want someone to listen to you and then give you some advice, I'm always there because I've been through more than you can ever imagine, and I'm always there for anyone.
Do you know what my advice is? Yeah, to people, just keep who you like as friends like tight. Don't go out of your way to meet everyone and everyone. Just keep who you've got and who you can trust. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
If you feel like someone's got bad vibes, don't talk to them anymore. Because I'm sure it'll cost you. It won't. It'll save you the stress. Anyway, should we go back onto football?
Okay.
Yeah, because it got a bit personal then.
What did Will say? If you feel like someone's bad vibes, don't talk to them. So I won't talk to Will anymore. But yeah, football. I'm joking. I'm joking, bro. Oh, we also got Charlie.
Big up. What are you guys saying?
Hey, it's my favourite Bristol Rovers fan. The only one I know.
You missed the discussion we just had about racism and discrimination. But since you're here, we are going to move on to a bit of lower league talk. Arsenal and Doncaster and the rest. What happened tonight?
Oh, where's Aaron gone in chat? Is he still there or has he gone back?
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, I've got his main man as my profile pic. If you didn't realise.
Do you know what?
Do you
know what,
Will
Charlie?
Grigg.
It's going to be nice reuniting with Aaron next year when they get relegated to League Two, isn't it? So.
Well, hopefully we can get promoted. I don't really want to be in League Two next year.
You probably you I don't know. I don't watch enough League Two to know if you'll go up or not.
Yeah, it depends. But no, it's pretty funny though.
Poland has 12 goals and 15 international caps. Mad.
Yeah, but do you see who we play tonight? But there's some player. They played Gibraltar. Some player that scored for Gibraltar was playing against Rovers in the conference like 5 years ago.
Oh damn!
A good goal, though.
I say Jorginho better than Pogba. Yes, he is. Move on. Will Grigg scored an own goal tonight.
Did he actually?
That is gas. That is gas. Man said Jorginho better than Pogba. That is gas.
I mean, okay, put your fucking UEFA Player of the Year on the table, motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna say.
One's won a World Cup.
Yeah. Do I care?
The other one's won.
Let O'Shea bury himself. One's won a World Cup, and what has the other done?
So
he's won a Champions League. Well done, and he won a Champions League and a Euros. Well done. But Pogba is a better player than Jorginho. Like that's let's not. Like
yeah, but
let's
the thing
not.
is, they're both different players in midfield. Pogba's a attacking midfielder, and Jorginho's defensive. So in a way, you can't compare them.
We can,
if you're going to compare for the last year, you're going to say Jorginho's been a better player last year because look at the trophies he's won.
O'Shea,
but if you can go for the overall, at the moment they're probably about even. I wouldn't say they're one's better than the other because they're both different positions in midfield.
Do you know what though, O'Shea? If you want to bring up other midfielders, you do realise we have Kante who's won a World Cup, Europa League. Champions League.
But I've never slandered Kante. I've always said Kante is one of the best CDMs, if not the best in Europe. So I've never slandered Kante.
Okay, but that's pretty much we have better midfielders, so it doesn't matter. Like such as our fourth choice midfielder was your first choice. Let's just say that. So you can just stare at that for a while, actually.
He looks like a playboy, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he probably is. He's a very, he's a nice looking man.
Oh, what is this?
Have you just talk about Chelsea for a minute? Sorry, have you heard anything about Lukaku if he's out injured or not for the weekend?
I think it was a clickbait title. Apparently, it was a clickbait title. Apparently, he's fine.
Jorginho's the furthest back. The staff got basically in the center of the centre backs. Yeah, Xhaka put Pogba in a spliff, and yes, he did. That was beautiful to see.
Man, like Granit Xhaka, man.
How many goals has Haaland now scored for Norway? Because I saw he scored 3 goals tonight.
13 and 15 caps.
Has he scored more than Mbappe?
On average, I think, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's mad. Haaland's a machine.
To me, it's like they compared each other, and I think it's a brilliant conversation. But if you're going to look at league, and now you probably say Mbappe is probably the better player in the league and that. But if you look at it internationally, you probably say Haaland because he's probably done better work. So it's like it's not as I think it's more closer than people realise.
Who would you rather have in your team?
The thing is, I think I'm
Haaland.
The thing
same.
the thing that Mbappe has over Haaland though is the ability to show up in big games. Like he's proven it in big games. Barcelona scored a hat-trick. I know they're not as good as they used to be.
Haaland is a very one.
Scored in the World Cup final.
Let's not count that hat-trick, Will. That Barcelona team's not
Scored in
great.
the World Cup final. Scored a brace against Bayern to knock them out this year.
But did you see the goal Haaland scored tonight?
Against a Bayern Munich team that didn't have a striker.
Look. Haaland is a very one-dimensional player. As much as I like him, and he's fantastic, he's a striker. Now, that's what you want. Like Chelsea would be brilliant to sign a player like Haaland, because that's how you guys play with your Drogba's, your Costas, your Lukaku's. He's a bullet point striker. Mbappe gets equal amount of goals, but he can also play on the right. He can play on the left. He can play as a number 10. He can play through the middle. It's kind of like the Ronaldo-Messi debate. Only Ronaldo's more versatile than Haaland. So it's kind of like saying who's better, Brazilian Ronaldo or Messi.
You know what though, O'Shea? The debate shouldn't be Haaland and Mbappe. It should be Foden and Mbappe. That should be the debate. Haaland's not in the same league as Foden. I'm sorry, he's not. I don't think he is.
How can you say that when Haaland scored astronomically more goals than Foden? That makes no sense.
Wait. Well, if you mean technically,
yeah,
like
technically, and in big moments.
But I don't even think it's true because Haaland as a striker has all the attributes to be one of the best.
Yes, he does.
He's perfect. He's perfectly built as a striker, as opposed to Foden. I know he looks silky, but
he is quite effective though as well. To be fair.
No, I didn't say Foden's not effective, but in terms of I
think Foden's overrated.
When you compare it per position, how many players can you name that's better than Haaland? Not many. I can name a lot of players better than Foden.
That's fair, actually. But to be fair, midfield I think is at this moment.
Foden's not even the best player at his club in his position.
But doesn't that say? But you've got to then take into account Kevin De Bruyne, who's the best midfielder arguably in the world.
Yeah, but you can't even compare them though, surely. Haaland and Foden.
Foden plays left wing. Foden can play on left wing.
There's a lot of strikers I prefer to Erling Haaland as of right now. I can name 6.
6 better than Haaland?
Mm-hmm.
Go on then.
You're crazy.
Okay, so we start with Mbappe, start with Kane, Lewandowski, Lukaku.
You think Kane's better than Haaland?
100%. It's not. I don't think it's close. Do you know what? I'm debating with Benzema's another one, far better.
Mbappe is not a striker. He's
a better. I think he's better as a striker.
And no, Mbappe is not better than Haaland as a striker.
I think he is. I'd rather have him.
Yeah, but the general consensus as a player is that Mbappe is better than Haaland. But that's not an issue. Obviously, as a striker, no, he's not, because in that position, Haaland scored more goals.
But Mbappe will still score more goals and be a better player. Not more
Yeah,
goals
he
than
will be.
Haaland, but he'll still score a lot of goals.
Yeah, of course. Look, Mbappe is the better player. Of course he is. It's not even close. Mbappe is probably going to be the heir to Messi and Ronaldo's throne. Mbappe will probably be winning multiple
Ronaldo, that's
Ballon
another
d'Or.
one. That's another one. Better than Haaland. That's another
Thing
one.
is, you know, I've got to say this. We're all doing this competitive and argument and opinions. But one thing we've got to admit, altogether agree, how fortunate we are to be alive to witness
Yeah.
this.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who would wish they could have been, who's not here now, bless their souls, wish they could have seen them to fight each other to be the best player. And we've got to see Messi and Ronaldo as well. We've been very fortunate how quality the football players have been.
Yeah, of course.
Lauren said Mbappe is just a meat merchant. Haaland is clear.
Facts, isn't it?
Clear,
Facts.
yeah.
I don't get why the consensus is Mbappe is now overrated. I don't understand it.
I don't think Mbappe's over. I think Neymar's overrated, but I don't think Mbappe's overrated.
I think the big thing with Mbappe is he's still in that French league. Like for me, I put a heavy tax or asterisk in that French league.
If
you can
he
be a very good player in the French league, and I know that, but I can't call you world class. It's hard for me to call you world class unless you leave there and you're testing yourself.
I think if
Yeah.
he goes, if he,
That's the issue with the French league.
I don't think it is a shocker because Haaland hasn't. I don't think Haaland's shown enough to me to be in the Mbappe category. He's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. He is he's a top class
And he
striker.
scored 40 goals, man.
He's a top class striker. I'm not denying that, but he needs to show me more. I don't
Show you more.
Yeah, of course. He needs to. I want to wait for him to join a big club. That's when I want to wait for him. I want to wait for him to join a big club.
But the
That's
thing
what
is, you're saying about Mbappe and Haaland, but we were saying about Mbappe's in France and he's in the league where he's probably going to score those goals. Haaland's in exactly the same. Yeah, it may be a bit hard because the team's in there, but he's going to score those goals because how they play in Germany.
Yes, but Mbappe plays in a. Since Mbappe's been there, he's played in a team where, on paper, they're top 2 in the world, top 3 in the world.
Do you think of Monaco that was? Honestly, I'm not even trying to.
No, I'm talking about PSG, not Monaco.
Okay.
How long has he been at PSG? 3 seasons now, yeah?
Yeah.
Past 3 seasons now, because he joined when Neymar joined as well. So for the past 2 seasons, they've been the best on paper team in the world, one of the best teams in the world. For example, this season now to win the Champions League, there's no excuse. There's no. Real Madrid are not strong. Barca are not strong. Liverpool, you like to think the latter stage of the Champions League won't be as strong because of maybe injuries or something. Man City are beatable.
Do you know what though, Prime? Honestly,
Chelsea are even beatable.
if he won the Champions League with PSG, I wouldn't even use that in an argument to say why he's the best youngster. I want to see him at Real Madrid when they sign Pogba, when they sign who else are they looking at? They sign Camavinga. When they potentially actually sign Haaland. Yeah, Haaland for me can't break into that category unless he's at. Okay, this is unfair on Haaland. I'm not saying this is Haaland's fault. For me, I just want to see some world-class moments at the biggest, grandest stage before I call him world-class. Like, we've seen Benzema deliver at the highest stage. We've seen Lewandowski do it for years on end. I guess Kane, I think, technically is far better than Haaland. He's just slower, to be fair. So
We're
that's
talking about being world class on the stage.
Haaland's only been around for 2 years now.
Yeah, that's fair. So I don't see he doesn't have to be a world class player to be very good. He's very
I
good.
would say, you're talking about the big stage. You're talking about the big stage, though, right? And this is what it's just a cat me. He's talking about this stage, but look at the Champions League record. What he's done at the moment.
That's
That's
true.
on the big stage. That's on the biggest one of the biggest competitions in club football.
Yeah.
And he's done it on the big stage. And he's scored how many goals in how many games?
Seems like Sevilla. Like, I don't. Is Giroud world class for scoring 4 in the game versus Sevilla? He's not a world class footballer. I'm not saying I'm not comparing them. I'm not comparing Giroud then. I think Haaland. I think the only world-class youngster in world football is Kylian Mbappe. He's the only one, in my opinion. He's the only one. So I don't. For me to say Haaland isn't world-class, for my definition of world-class,
Just
that's not an insult. That's not an insult.
You're saying that. You're saying Mason Mount's not world class.
Right now, what Mason Mount is not a world-class footballer.
So, are you sure? You sure you don't want the Mason Mount whisper out?
Hey, I
Don't
love
call him.
Mason Mount. I have a Mason Mount top, yeah. I spent 80 quid on a Mason Mount top, yeah. I love him. But I'm not going to say he's world-class when he's not. The only world-class player Chelsea has is N'Golo Kante, as of right now. So, and I think Lukaku's borderline. But even him, I'd say he's top class.
You
I
know, I
love him.
think will
What
be
you don't
top
think?
class though.
What
Is
you
Kai
don't think?
Havertz.
Jorginho's world class.
Oh, see, that's another one, actually. See, for the shameless propaganda, I'll say he's world-class. But he's a top-class footballer.
I think Kai's going to be world class. I truly
Yeah,
do
Kai
think this season he's going to break out this season.
Honestly,
I think Jorginho is
he could.
my definition of world class is you have to be doing it you have to be on that level for at least 2 years for me to even consider you. I think Jorginho right now is on world class form though, but again,
Yeah.
years to become the same with Rudiger and Christensen. They're on world class form. I can't call them world class players.
Yeah, I think they're top. I think they're very, very great to very good centre backs. That's what I call what we have right now.
Even Kante is, I think, just on world class form.
Yeah, I mean,
For me, again, it takes 2 years to get into world class. It takes 2 years to drop out, and I think Kante dropped out for a little bit.
I get what you're saying. To be fair, though, Wayne, to add to your point, I think we have a lot of players that could be world class in our team. I think if Lukaku bags 25 goals this year, I think you've got to call him world class. I think I think Pulisic needs a few years, but he could get there. He's hunted enough. You've got Kai, who I think is out of all of them is the guaranteed one to get to that world class level, and Mount I think is pretty likely to get to that level one day as well. So Gilmore I think could be world class as well. If you
Lauren says, ask Mancini, who's Italy's best player. He won't say, yeah, Jorginho's Italy's most important player.
Yeah.
Whenever I say that, though, people want to try and argue with me as if I don't know what I'm talking about. He's more important.
That's what people are like.
He's more important than Donnarumma, more important than Verratti.
It makes the whole team tick.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say something. Right? I've said this on Lewis's stream, and I've said this on Flora's stream. I'll say it on your stream. And I'm going to say it with my chest up high because I mean this at the bottom of my heart. I think this season we're going to go unbeaten. I think this season we're going to be invincible, but I think we'll do it better than Arsenal.
Hopefully.
Wait, sorry, what?
That's a big statement.
I think we'll be invincible this season. I think we won't lose a game.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't think we will.
Maybe.
Ready to clip.
You know what? I didn't think we'd win the Champions League, so I'm not even going to...
Well, Wayne doesn't even have his face on, so he can deny that he said it.
No, I will never deny it. I will never deny it.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. I don't care if I get Arsenal fans on me. I won't deny it. I said it to Miguel. I went to Miguel's face and said it to Miguel.
So, repeat what you said. Wait.
We'll go and we'll beat Arsenal and we'll do no beating, undefeated all season. We'll do it better than Arsenal.
In the Premier League?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to Chelsea lose 1-0 to Aston Villa.
If we lose to Aston Villa, I promise you can get me on here and you can berate me like it's hell. And I will sit here and take it all from everyone.
We wouldn't do that.
I guarantee you won't.
Nice. Too nice for us to do that.
If I wasn't a Chelsea fan, I would.
I've seen it all. Like I said, I'm older than you guys, but I remember when I went to Chelsea, there was still the ring around the ground, the electric ring, and there was no rest stand. It was a standing stand, and you could still park your cars next to the stadium inside. That's when I was going to Chelsea.
I mean, Lauren here, she is an Arsenal fan. If you go invincible, we deserve to get if they get relegated when we go invincible, and just to put Spurs win the Conference League.
Imagine that.
Oh, could you imagine Arsenal fans? Oh,
Man, like Arsenal against
Beautiful.
maybe Accrington Stanley if they get promoted.
That'd be beautiful. If you do that, Arsenal will turn into the Ian Beale meme. I've got nothing left.
Good old
Wait, how many trophies are we off from them, by the way?
I'm not sure.
I don't
Because
know.
at one point I thought it was 7 or something. Oh, sorry.
You just missed it.
What happened?
I said out of chest that we're going to go unbeaten this season, Chelsea.
Come on. Let's be honest
Oh,
with you.
serious.
Liverpool dreamt of going unbeaten until Ismail Sarr rocked up. So I don't
I'm
know.
going to be
I
honest
think
with you.
You
I'm
Liverpool
going-
fans, right? You've got to admit it. You've got this season with this transfer window has been quite poor for you guys.
It's a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Poor's a bit of an understatement. It's been abysmal. The fact that Liverpool fans, and I say this live and I'll say it again, why aren't local fans doing anything about this? And I mean in the sense of, like, if this was United fans and the Glazers had been not spending money for this long after winning the Champions League, Premier League, they would have broken into Old Trafford. Chelsea fans would have done the same at Stamford Bridge. There's no reason. I'm not inciting violence or criminal damage, but what I'm saying is Liverpool fans are just doing videos saying, "Oh, do we think FSG should be in or out?" And it's like, bruv, is that all we're gonna get then? There should be protests. The fuck is this on about? We've not spent money since we sold Coutinho. Let's call a spade a spade. We bought Minamino and Harvey Elliott after we won the Champions League, and then we panicked bought Thiago and Jota because, let's be honest, we wanted Werner and we failed to get him, but still bought Jota for 10 million cheaper, which makes no sense. But there we go. And Liverpool fans are just like, "Oh, well, I don't know if fucking FSG are. Am I FSG out or am I FSG in?" What do you mean? The fuck? The fuck is this? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We win the Champions League and the Premier League, and we've signed. As much as I love Thiago, and I was gassed that we signed him, I'm still gassed that we've got him. Why are we spending 25 million on 30-year-olds? Why have we not? Why are we not going out and getting players that we? I just can't even bring myself to comprehend the action. And then watch FSG next summer. I do think we'll have a big summer next season. I honestly do. But it's not good enough.
You said that last season.
No, but I from what's coming out in the club, because me and you have spoken off camera. I've said from what's coming out of the club, and from what's being, 2022 is supposed to be a big summer. I don't care though. I don't care if you even if FSG, and I'm saying this with my chest, even if FSG gave us both Haaland and Mbappe next summer, I would still turn around and say thank you, FSG out. I would. Because it's not good enough. Even if they gave us Koulibaly, Oblak, Haaland, and fucking Mbappe next summer, I'd still say FSG, get out of the club. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, unfortunately. What is the excuses for not signing Doku? Oh, we've got too many international players. Well, if you've got too many international players, then why don't you accept you're not going to get anywhere near the 50 million you paid for Naby and put him up for sale for 5 million? Why not do that then? Well, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. There's nothing stopping you from letting Takumi Minamino go for 5 million. You're asking 13 million for Shaqiri, and in the end we settled for 9. If you'd have just done that at the beginning, we would have got rid of Shaqiri. Why is Origi's price tag at 15 million? Just drop it to 10. We're not going to recuperate money. Let's call a spade here. We're not going to get anything close to the 50 we paid for Naby. We're not going to get anything close to the 35, 40 we paid for Ox. We may get 10 million for Takumi, maybe. But other than that, where are we recuperating our money? Bite the bullet and accept your losses and get rid of these players, man.
Is this true? Apparently, you offered Alberto Moreno a 5-year contract in 2019.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is true. I thought.
Surely not.
The top Reds don't like it when other Liverpool fans do protest because they're toxic positive. What does that mean?
Beats me. I don't get that.
Yeah.
The easy thing is, obviously, with Liverpool fans, right? And obviously, you've gone through. For me, you went through the highs and lows because obviously, you won a league after how many years it was, but you went through them years. You went so near misses, and you've got a long history. And I'm proud of for Liverpool personally because I'm going to go a bit personal again, but my friend had depression and no one knew, and he just signed for Brentford, and a week after he killed himself.
Wow.
And he suffered from depression and everything, and no one knew. But he was a massive Liverpool fan, so I've always got that soft spot for Liverpool. But I see the fans suffering now because it's like you said, the people who own the club doesn't care about the fans or and the deep down the history of the club, and you need to sort your side out because there's players in there that's not Liverpool quality. You got people like you said, Origi, Keita, Minamino. For me, I know I'll probably be wrong by saying it, but even Matip for me is not quite enough. There's players there that I feel like just get rid of, and then go from there because you've got some good youngsters as well to fill in them gaps if need be. But it's just a mess at the moment. Liverpool has become a raw mess. It's becoming like Chelsea was a couple of years ago when we got our transfer ban and that. And it's like a restart for you guys.
Exactly. We're becoming a mess. Like as you said, we're becoming a mess, and I don't see how we get out of that unless we spend money. And it doesn't look like FSG are going to be spending money anytime soon. I hear things about summer 2022, but like Prime said, I said that last season. Let me read this. Basically, they're toxic with their positivity. Like they'll abuse other Liverpool fans if they don't support FSG and be positive about that. Exactly. You know what? That's correct. I hear that all the time. I do get that. Liverpool fans will be like, "Oh, we're the family. Not just the Scousers, but all Liverpool fans. We're a family. We support our own, and we don't allow any outside." Fuck all that, bruv. Listen, if a player's playing shit, I'm gonna say he's playing shit, and if he plays shit for 3-4 years, I'm gonna say get him out of my club. And if he's made of biscuits like Naby Keita and still plays shit, then I'm gonna say leave him in Guinea. So at the end of the day, bro, at the end of the day, I'm blunt, fam. I don't care. I'm blunt, fam.
Leave him in Guinea. Wow. Okay. Jester says, Prime, it's possible we part ways with Kova Jorginho next summer. Would you take Tchouaméni, Bellingham with Saul?
You can, eh? And also we Gilmore.
Nick Gilmore.
Oh,
Jester,
Gilmore.
you're moving on.
Also, would you sell Gilmore for a bag of crisps? I don't think we'll sell both Kova. Oh, N'Golo Kante, sorry. I don't think we're going to sell both Kova and Jorginho next summer. I think maybe we sell Kova next summer, and then the summer after Jorginho goes. I'd keep Gilmore. I think he's talented and he will develop into something. And Jester, I don't praise over youth players all the time. So for me to say that, I must think he really is something. Bellingham I'd bring in. I think Rice will eventually buy him as well. And Tchouaméni. I watched one game and it was France a few days ago. And I don't know, he seemed all right. But France in general didn't play well.
I don't see you guys buying Rice. I did a few months ago. I would have said, yeah, man, he's inevitably going to Chelsea. But because you've just got Saul, I can kind of see United getting him. I can see United putting in a big effort to go for him because they missed out. Huh?
Yeah, no, United need Rice. They need a ball playing DM.
They need him more than you guys need him. And I just think, look, they missed out on Fabinho 3 years ago. They missed out on Partey. They missed out on Thiago.
There's so many you can name.
There's so many players in that position or in and around that position that United have missed out on. They've not been able to get Saul. I don't think they really went in for him, but they didn't get him. And if he plays well for Chelsea, I think they're going to realize how much they need a CDM. And I can see United going in for Declan Rice.
Look, you're missing the point. Man United's got McFred. They don't need anyone. They've got McFred. And they've got Van der Beek on the bench who don't play. It's all good. They're all good in the midfield. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon? Do you reckon that United may experiment with a little FIFA thing this season and play Pogba, Van der Beek, and Bruno?
That doesn't work.
Mate, Donny's
people are saying Van der Beek can play in a pivot. He can, in theory, but it's the same way when people say Pogba can play in the pivot. If you're going to play one of Bruno or one of Van der Beek or Pogba in the pivot, then they need to be paired with an actual DM.
Yeah.
For it to actually work
like
in the
Pogba is in France.
But could you imagine, though, if they turned up to a game, right? Imagine this, as a team, in goal, the Henderson, because I prefer Henderson over the other, but then you got, obviously, Basaka, Varane, Maguire, and Shaw. But then goes Van der Beek, Pogba, Fernandes, and then up front field, Rashford, Sancho, and Ronaldo.
Fuck Rashford, innit? Rashford's shit, man.
That team has no balance. It wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't work, but can you imagine seeing that team actually on the field? What it'd be like?
No, not unless they're trying to chase a game.
Me, it would be quite. I find it quite interesting because, like I said, defensively, it don't sound right, but attacking wise, it could be quite good.
I don't even think there's enough balance in that attack. I think if Man United's best attack doesn't involve Bruno right now.
Ooh.
Because if Ronaldo's that focal point up front, then you need Pogba to create.
Yeah.
But the rest of the comments, Rice working for Chelsea. Jester says, I agree, Rice will end up at United. I say Jorginho, contract 2023. I think we'll give Jorginho a new contract sometime this season or come the end of the season. Even though we'll sell him, I think we'll still give him a new contract. Lawrence says they don't want Partey. Trust. Pogba can't tackle. Play Van de Beek or Pogba, you'll get ran through. Yeah, they'll get ran through like a train. Who dropped out?
Will.
I was confused there. Well, Charlie out. I can't believe he hates a man who feeds kids shaking my head. Wait, Charlie, did you say you don't like Rashford?
Not really. I don't
Why?
really rate Rashford, no.
What?
If go on, Charlie, you speak. Sorry, I'll say what I was going to say.
I just don't. I know he obviously. I think the main problem is that he's just been played too much. I think if they had a proper manager and someone that knew how to sort of give players different times out of the team and not run them into the ground, that's the only reason. So it's basically Ollie's fault because he's just played too much.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Rashford is shit. I think Rashford, if people keep saying Ollie's a bad manager, then clearly Rashford under a better manager would flourish.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. But even going to United, though, they need players along with Sancho that can cross because that's what Ronaldo plays off. So I don't know what their system's going to be. That's all I'm saying.
You know, on the subject of Sancho, because I do want to play a little game on this show while we're still live. Basically, one player you would take from all of the top 6 rival clubs, and Rashford is that player for me. I'd not Bruno. As much as Liverpool need an attacking midfielder, I would take Rashford. I'd take Rashford from United, and I've said that on the terrace before. I love Rashford. I just think he's incredible. I really do. He's such a good man.
Over Mane.
No. I think he'd be good competition for Mane. And he's very versatile as well because he can. Yeah, he's not really great on the right, but he can play up front and he can play on the left. He can kind of drop down into midfield. If we, I know Liverpool don't really play with 4 midfielders, but if we did, hypothetically, he can drop into that midfield role. I just think Rashford is a fantastic young talent. I really do.
Wayne, who would you go for Chelsea?
I'll say again, mate.
Who would you want? One player from the top 6 club or the other top 5 clubs, I guess, that you'd bring into Chelsea?
It's hard for me. I'd probably say Andy Robertson.
Really? Oh, Robertson left wing back.
Yeah, I think he'll. I know we've got Chilwell, and I like Chilwell, but I think he'll do well in the Chelsea system.
Yeah. No, I see that. Like me, I love Rashford, but realistically for our system, I'd bring in Saka. I think Saka at left wing back would be amazing. I see under a quality manager, I think he can develop to be something like Alphonso Davies.
Oh yeah, if that's the case, that will be good.
I think we'll end up seeing that because unlike Mason Mount and Greenwood and Trent and other players, and Foden, I think Saka will leave Arsenal. I don't think he'll stay there, and I think he will go to a big club. And I don't think it will be abroad either. I do think he'll go to another Premier League club. I can see him coming to Liverpool if we try to sign him.
I could see him going Borussia Dortmund personally.
That's not a bad shout either.
Dortmund wanted him last summer to replace Sancho if he was going to go. CO1 London says Gilmore Tchouameni would be a great pivot in the future. Maybe that's fair. Prime. Lauren Bruno he came off the other night against Portugal. Charlie's a bandit free session. General question: let's say Arteta gets sacked. Do you think Conte will consider going to them? O'Shea, you go.
Genuine question. Let's say Arteta gets sacked. Do you think Conte will consider going to? I don't think so. I don't think Conte will go to Arsenal. I think for one of 2 reasons. Number one, because the task at Arsenal is way too daunting for a manager of Conte's repertoire. You know, it's such a big club. They are a big club, and the task at Arsenal is, you know, do you want to ruin your reputation? We look at Emery. Emery was a respected manager before Arsenal, and his reputation is gone down, and it's never going to come back. You know, Arteta will probably never get a big managerial role again in football if he's sacked. Arsenal are just a toxic club, and the second reason is because I don't think Conte is necessarily loyal to Chelsea, but I just think if Arsenal were doing good, if Arsenal were where they were when Wenger was sacked, I think possibly Conte would go to Arsenal because I don't think his loyalty is that strong to Chelsea to where he wouldn't manage Arsenal. But I think because there's really no benefits to managing Arsenal now, it's kind of like, well, do I really want to completely destroy my reputation with Chelsea fans only to go to a club where there's not really any benefits? It's not like I'm going to win the Premier League and the Champions League here. Like they're a club in turmoil. I could ruin my reputation even more and be completely hated by Chelsea. I just don't see it happening. I honestly don't.
I think with Conte, honestly, it will be the worst thing for him to do. And also look for Arsenal for them as well. It's the worst thing to do. Go get. I said this last season back in like November with Arsenal. Sack Arteta. Rafa at the time was in the not MLS. He was in the Chinese Super League. But I said, go buy out Rafa's contract. Go bring him in. He's an experienced manager and knows what he's doing. He's automatically one of the best managers in the Prem. He knows how to work with bad clubs that are run poorly, like Newcastle. And this process you're trying to do with Arteta, he would actually develop it properly. And in 2-3 years, when it's time for him to leave, he will leave you guys a better squad for the next manager to come in and take you guys forward. Because Arteta, maybe there's something in there with him. Maybe he is a good manager, but not only is he inexperienced and young, this job that Arsenal need is not right for him. There's very few managers who can actually do it. Even the world-class managers would probably struggle doing this. So, like, get someone like Rafa Benitez, go. Maybe Ancelotti, but I think Ancelotti would extremely struggle. Go get Rafa, go get Leonardo Jardim.
I think Allegri would be a good manager.
I don't rate Allegri. I like Allegri, but he's not. People would expect him to like do a madness, and he's not going to be able to do that.
Do you want me to give you a laugh though? You were talking about Arteta, and I think before I came on this, on to watch these guys, watch you guys. I actually looked at the odds for the next manager. Obviously, Conte's favourite, and he's gone right down. The second favourite is what's his name? Oh, the guy I'm mad. It's not Eddie Howe. What's Leicester's Brendan Rodgers? But the third favourite though really shocked me. It's Pirlo.
No. Pirlo. If Arteta gets sacked and they bring in Pirlo this season, 100% he will get them relegated.
Yeah, that would be stupid.
I'll put money on it. He will get them relegated. I don't want that to happen.
No, but he just matched what I didn't saw. Why is Pirlo third favourite? And then you've got Eddie Howe. You've got Graham Potter. You know what I mean? They've got, but it's no manager I can sit there and say, except for Conte, oh, that's a world-class manager. Then that's what they've become. I hate to say it. Arsenal is not that club now. The world-class managers say, oh, we'd love to go and manage them. They've got history that we can do something there. Arsenal's now looking at trying to get a manager in just to keep them up. They're fighting with all the teams where they was taking the mickey out of for so many years.
Yeah, they're a proper shambles. That's why no one wants. That's why they won't attract anyone big, because it's a shambles from top to bottom, innit? Club in turmoil, you know.
Look, Prime, let me ask you this question, yeah? Why do you not want to see Arsenal get relegated? I don't understand that. That's a bit mad.
No. Pirlo's my favourite ever player. I don't want him to get them relegated. I don't want him to be the guy to do it.
He's already tarnished with the shit show we had at Juventus.
No, I know, but I know what Arsenal fans are like. They will ruin his legacy in football. The same way they've ruined Arsene Wenger's legacy. The same way they cause people to disrespect Unai Emery because he is an amazing tactician. They will ruin if Conte goes there.
The same way Chelsea ruined Lampard's legacy as a footballer. Basically, you don't want the same thing to happen. What you guys did to Frank.
Well, I don't think Chelsea fans. Well, maybe some did because they got too emotional. His legacy. Yeah, but the thing is, I know what Arsenal fans are like. They're so vile and toxic. They will ruin Pirlo's legacy, and he won't get. Well, probably he will get another job, but they'll ruin Conte's legacy. And plus, Conte is a toxic man as well. So it'll be like people talk about Mourinho. Conte's just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
Lauren said Santos backs for Portugal. That Portugal manager is not that great. I don't think he would do much with Arsenal. But again, I think like right now, sacking Arteta might be pointless because who is there to replace? There's no manager out there right now. And if I'm Conte, wait a few months because Ancelotti could get sacked at Real Madrid. Allegri, it looked like he will get sacked at Juve. So just wait it out a few months. Oli could get sacked at United. Wait it out a few months. Allegri wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. Say away. Graham Potter don't gas him up. He's not. Graham Potter's not the guy people think he is.
I think it's inevitable who Arsenal are going to get next. I think it's inevitable who Arsenal are going to get next, and it's Big Sam. And it's Big Sam.
You can't say Saka because you said top 6 club. Okay, sorry, not Saka. So Ndidi or
Tielemans would be a great player to have as well. I just remember
think of Tielemans.
Tielemans.
I don't think Tielemans offers us anything that we don't already have.
Mm,
Do you know what? Actually, can I just say before you carry on, Prime? Talking about Leicester, I'd actually bring Jamie Vardy into Liverpool, you know, for like a season, for like a. Do you know what I'm saying? I would, because he's gonna get you goals. And could you imagine Jamie Vardy with Trent and Robertson on the wings, supplying him? Oh my God, bringing him off the bench at like the 60th, 70th minute, and just allowing him to run right. Oh my God!
But isn't that what Danny Ings could have done for you guys?
That's what I'm saying. I know I said it earlier in the transfer window I didn't want Danny Ings, but looking back now, Danny Ings wouldn't have been a bad signing. I would have loved to have signed Vardy. Would have been a great, but Vardy's obviously never going to leave Leicester, is he? But yeah, oh my God, what Danny Ings wouldn't have been a bad signing. The only problem with Danny Ings though is one good season. It's one outstandingly good season. He flopped at Liverpool. He didn't do well. We've seen what he's capable of. So
Laura says Graham Potter is just a new fetish. Yeah, exactly. Like again, people said the same thing about Eddie Howe a few years ago. Same thing about Sean Dyche. People said the same thing about Nuno 2 seasons ago. And then all of a sudden, people said he's a bad manager last season. So like people will get Eddie Howe is not that great. Honestly, he'll go to Arsenal and he'll get them into a relegation battle. And arguably get them relegated. Mustafa says Graham Potter is not better than Solskjaer. He is not better than Solskjaer. He doesn't finish second in the league. He does not finish second in the league with that United team last season.
No, he finishes top, mate.
No, he doesn't. he struggles to make top 4.
Honest question for you guys: do you think where do you think Arsenal will finish this season? Honestly.
I think they've finished about 14th.
Before the season started, I said they were dark horses for top 4. I don't think they'll get. I don't know. It's tough.
Would you say dark horses for what?
I said there were dark horses for top 4.
You actually said that?
Yeah, no. I only said that because, like, the signings they were making, I didn't think they were great signings, and then. Slens and stuff, people were telling me to stop trolling and just like stop being biased or whatever. So I looked into it and I was like, okay, fine. Maybe if something clicks, I think maybe Liverpool drop out and they can maybe get top 4. I don't know. Because Arsenal are just losing. And it's only been 3 games. So by the next international break, we'll see where things lie.
See, for me, you're coming back like Arsenal.
C1 says Potter is not better than Ollie. If you gave me a choice between Graham Potter and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm picking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
I'm gonna say that with my chest.
Yes, because I don't care. The style of play does not matter to me. It's about what you're actually doing, and Ollie finished second in the league, whereas Potter was in a relegation battle.
But so he should do with that squad.
No, he shouldn't do because people were saying he would struggle to make top 4.
Wait a second. You're saying one second, Charlie. You've just said so he should do with that squad. So you're saying that squad then, this is before Sancho, this is before Ronaldo, before Varane. You're saying United's XI last season, on paper, was better than Chelsea's, better than Liverpool's, better than City's, better than Leicester's. No, bro. On paper, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their manager, last season United were lucky to finish 4th. The fact that they finished 2nd is credit to Ole. I've always said Ole's a good manager, and you have to put respect on Ole's name, man. What he did with that squad last season was brilliance. You have to put respect on Ole's name for that, man.
I just think Ole's got a problem. The problem with Ole, he's got so much expectations as Man United fans. Because they're winners. They with Ferguson, they've always won things. So since then, they've always wanted to win, and they've had to go through David Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, and now they're finally getting similar football to Fergie. They expect the same thing, and unfortunately, that's what the problem is. It's not the same thing. Definitely. They've got to realise it's not.
Yeah,
but you know, I was going to say before. I want to say this because I know I'm going to cheer someone up, but I don't think Liverpool are going to finish in the top 6 this season.
We'll get on to hold that. We'll get on to Liverpool in just a sec. Guys, if you have questions and stuff, keep dropping them in. C1 London says Potter is actually a good manager. He plays good football. Doesn't have a striker. He doesn't play with wingers though. That's the very well with the striker.
Yeah, he plays wing backs.
He clearly does not do very well with the strikers that he has because he was in a relegation battle last season with all the attacking football he played. Maybe if he played a bit more smart in some games, he wouldn't have been stuck in a relegation battle. The one style of play does not define how good you are.
Do you know? Can I just say before you carry on, Prime? Yeah, because I just sat here thinking to myself about Arsenal's team. Yeah, and player for player, that is a team that should be in contention for the top 4. If they played their best 11, Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka, Thomas, Smith Rowe, you can't really play Xhaka, and then Ben White, Gabriel, Tierney, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. That's a team that for me is no worse than West Ham. It's no worse than Villa. It's no worse than It's not as good as Leicester's, but it's no worse than Everton's. And all those clubs last season were fighting for a European position. So the Arsenal at their very best should be fighting for top 4, if not guaranteed Europa League football. They are massive.
But what makes your squad your manager?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But he's not playing
someone
with
who's never managed before. It's just stupid.
But he's not playing his strongest team though, because why has he never once played Martinelli and Saka either side the Aubameyang as a free?
Well, that's my point. What makes your squad your manager? The Liverpool team you guys have that won you guys the league. If people don't rate Ollie's not winning you guys the league with that team, for example. So, like, your squad does make your manager, because Lampard had us 8th when he got sacked, and then Tuchel comes in, and then we win the Champions League. Lauren's right. Potter is a new fetish. XG this, XG that. Like, move your Excel spreadsheet ball away from me. The way United fans lord over players, I'm surprised they're not winning the leagues. Yeah, exactly. Lauren says you can play good football and get relegated like Norwich did 2 seasons ago. They played probably the best football in the league. It's not as good as you think it is. The way players...
The way our players are overrated.
All Arsenal's players are overrated, yeah. But yeah, Jester asked this question for O'Shea, because you are the Liverpool fan here. Who will LFC play in place of Mane and Salah when they're gone for AFCON? And will it cost you guys top 4?
I think depending on injury, I think Jota will obviously play. Firmino, it's that left side though, isn't it? Harvey Elliott can obviously do a job on the wing. Will we play Harvey Elliott on the wing though? I don't know. Minamino.
Yeah, but who else have you got on the wing?
I mean, Minamino can do a job. Harvey Elliott can do a job. I don't know if Oxlade-Chamberlain. Can we? It's a bit of a madness.
You got Origi.
Origi as well, but he's such a. Do you know what? He probably will go with Origi though, because Origi's he's very stubborn, Klopp, and he's very loyal. So I do think we will see a lot of Origi when AFCON.
That's why I said I don't think you'll get top 6, because you've got AFCON, but not only that, your team's injury prone. You haven't got a second 11. For me, you haven't got each player position. You've got another world class player coming in. You haven't got that, so that's why I don't think you'll finish top 6. And I'm not saying it horribly. I really don't. If you've done a better transfer, that's a different.
That's a bit of a mad statement, and I think it's ridiculous to say that we're going to finish at most 7th. I'm not even saying this to be rude, but it's ridiculous. Like, it's a ridiculous statement. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but to say that we're going to finish at most 7th is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, even without Salah and Mane, we're still better than 7th. To say that there's 7 clubs that are going to finish above Liverpool this season, not 7 clubs, sorry. It's just ridiculous. I'm not saying you're ridiculous. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm just saying that as a concept is ridiculous. I just don't
Yeah,
see
no,
how.
of course, I agree with you, but I'm looking at it as looking at the teams, and I think like Man City, Man United, Chelsea, definitely would say probably be the ones definitely above you. But I'm looking at Leicester, proved, and they look like a solid side. You got West Ham looking like they're going to be a solid side this season, and you got Everton, and you've got Tottenham. For me, you've got there's the sides there. I've done better transfer windows and look like a better squad in general when it comes to the African Cup and if injuries come. No, you know this as a Liverpool fan. If Van Dijk does get injured, you've got no leader in that defence.
But why do we keep? This is the thing, though. Yeah, this is what annoys me. Is people now, ever since Van Dijk had a big ACL injury, everyone's talking about if Van Dijk gets injured. Prior to that injury, he never missed a game, and then he gets injured. He didn't get injured because of training. Yeah, he missed games now and then. Yeah, but I mean, he never had a serious injury. What I'm saying is, prior to that injury, he never had a big injury. That injury wasn't a knock in training or a pulled muscle or something. It was a horrendous tackle that would have injured any other player probably the same way, and now he's recovered from it. He's not an injury-prone player. He doesn't get niggles here and there. He doesn't get pulls or tears or muscle problems. He's had an ACL injury because of a horrendous tackle, and now he's recovered from it. It is, and getting ACLs doesn't then make you injury prone. So I don't see why fans are now saying this. The only way Van Dijk gets another big injury is if another tackle like that happens on him. That's the only way.
The reason why people are saying that is because, one, he came back fairly quickly, and two, that ACL injury can be reoccurring if he gets another knock or nickel like that, for one, and two. Jester explained this, and I don't think I can explain it properly. He's here in the chat. You can type it back in again or something. He said that once you get an injury like that or something, that because your body has to overcompensate, you're going to get little niggles and stuff all over your body that will keep reoccurring. Something weird like that, he said. Jester, you're here. If you can explain that properly, because I remember you said it on Lewis's stream or something, I think.
What I'm saying though, it's not. I'm not doing it like being offensive of just because he got injured. It's a fact. What I'm saying as he is a vital player for Liverpool, and if he misses games, for me, he's probably the worst. He'd be the worst player for you to get injured out of the whole team because he's such an leader and a force on that pitch that makes that your team.
Like whenever Van Dijk's since Van Dijk's come back, whenever he's gone down, so I think he went down against Chelsea. He went down in your first game of the season. He also went down today, or I guess yesterday, in the Netherlands game. All Liverpool fans seems to hold their breath and wonder, oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Which to me shows that if he's out for any period of time, you're screwed because you have no faith in your team.
No, that I think you've looked at that and you've come up with the wrong idea with that. The reason why Liverpool fans are holding their breath is because he's just had a year out. So Liverpool fans are like, oh my God, please let's hope he's all right. They're going to wrap him in cotton wool. It's not because we don't have faith in our team. It's because our player's just been out for a year. So every time Van Dijk loses an eyelash, Liverpool fans are going to be like, oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay because he's just been out for a year. To answer what you said before as well,
you said exactly what I said.
But then also you said he got brought back very quickly. I mean, I don't think he did. He had the usual amount of time you would get with that sort of injury, a season, a year. He's had a year out.
He was back in training, maybe not in full training with the whole squad, but he was back in training very quickly.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Liverpool in general, like they've only got 3 players that are injury prone, and that's Oxlade, Naby Keita, and Matip.
And Gomez.
O'Shea was, and Gomez. But even then, people are making out that Liverpool are proper injury prone when they're not. But I don't know.
Exactly. We're not an injury prone club. I don't know. Because of last season, where by the way, I think Leicester had about 17 major injuries throughout the season. I think
yes, we did, and no one brings up Leicester.
I think
don't use that as an excuse why they didn't get top 4.
The thing, but the point I'm making is though, like people are talking about Liverpool being an injury prone club. Bar last season, when have Liverpool ever been Oxlade-Chamberlain, who hardly plays, Naby Keita, who hardly plays, Matip has been injured, but then when Matip's not being injured, Gomez has been available, and when Gomez has been injured, Matip's been available, and it's worked for 3 seasons. Matip won us the Champions League. So bar last season,
the players you just mentioned.
Bar last season, which by the way, Liverpool weren't the only club. If you take Van Dijk's injury out of account, because that wasn't an injury because of being injury prone, that was a freak tackle that just went horribly wrong. So if you take Van Dijk's injury out of that, Liverpool, suffered from what many clubs around Europe suffered from. And like I said, Leicester, I think, had 17 big injuries last season. City had quite a few big injuries last season. I know. Chelsea, fucking hell, Ziyech, Pulisic, there was loads of players. There was a few players Chelsea had injured at times during the season. United had a few injuries last season. There was many injuries to teams that weren't happening in the normal season. So
yes,
you can't look at last season and go Liverpool are injury.
We can. No, we can, because you don't have the Ziyech got injured and Havertz was out with COVID. We still have the squad depth for it. Even Man United, their squad depth is not the best, but they still have to cover for it.
That's not the point I'm making. That's not the point I'm making. Liverpool have never had squad depth to cover for it. We've never had squad.
Okay, that's the point we're making, though.
No, but the point I'm making, because you guys made a statement. You guys made a statement and said Liverpool are an injury-prone team. Now,
no one said
squad depth,
you have injury-prone players.
No. I think it was Wayne that said we're an injury-prone club now. So what I'm saying,
like that. You misunderstood what I meant. I meant from those injuries you've had from last season, carrying on to this one. Obviously, your side, it's become. If you look at the strength and depth, it's not as strong as I would have thought it would be for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? It's like I look at your central defenders, and I said about Van Dijk, if he gets a little knock, I'm saying for 1 or 2 games, I can't. Whoever comes in, I'm not confident they're going to do a job like Van Dijk can. That's what I'm trying to say. Is the fact of I don't see the strength and depth in our Liverpool side that you was 2 years ago when I thought, if like Cesaro was out or whatever, you have players come in who can do the job and you won't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying on trying to say you're injury prone. I was trying to slag off Liverpool, nothing like that. It's about as a fan, as a football fan, general football fan, not about Chelsea, but football fan, I just don't see your Liverpool as a strength and depth like you have been. And it is because of your owners, but I'm saying that's why I feel, a personal opinion, that I feel like if you have a season like last season and it happens again for you, I just don't know if you're going to be able to finish in the top 6. But if you do, and you do have a good season like you did before, then you will finish top 6. You've got quite a side. You'll be in top 4. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you do have one, like you never know, do you? You just never know.
No. Look, you're right. Of course. Look, I get what you're saying, and I think if we do have another season like we did last season with injuries, I don't think we'll repeat what we did last season and go on to finish 3rd. So I do get what you're saying. I just don't see it happening. I'm not trying to jinx myself or anything. I just don't see it happening because last season was such a freak season. Many clubs suffered from injuries. And if you take last season out of account, we've had the same squad depth that have been performing at the same level. It's not like our squad depth have all of a sudden, decreased in ability. Ox has always been shit. Kate has always been shit. We've all, bar Shaqiri, we've got the same squad depth. And
O'Shea, you do have the same squad depth. But it's the thing, and yes, Ox or Keita, Gomez and Matip have got injured at different points of the season, not all at once. And maybe you can call last season a bit of a freak where a lot of players got injured at roughly the same time. But it shows that if something like that happens again, so Van Dijk, you don't like what Rachel said here. I disagree about the ACL point. The effects of an ACL injury doesn't affect your knee, affects the hips and spine. The injury could affect athletes long term, especially if it's a full tear. If Van Dijk gets a bit of a knock, that he's out for a little while, and maybe it coincides with, say, Matip being out or Gomez. Konate is also injury prone. When you have Ox and Keita, who are your backup midfielders, they're also injury prone. Salah and Mane.
Where is this thing with
my point is, you can have injuries like this again. Maybe they don't all hit you at once, but certain injuries might hit you, and you don't have the squad depth to cover for it. That's my point.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right. We don't have the squad depth, and now when Alden's gone, you know, even though Shaqiri's terrible, we don't even have him to call upon if we needed to. You know, with the midfielders we've got now, you know, Fabinho does pick up an injury or two every season. So does Henderson. Thiago has always been injury prone throughout his career. We've got AFCON coming up. You know, Jota got an injury last season. Could that happen again? We've got 2 injury prone centre backs. Konate is not injury prone. He got a major injury at Leipzig, and then they pushed him back. Instead of letting him become 100% match fit, they forced him to play, and he ended up getting little niggles as a result. He's not an injury prone player. Prior to that major injury, he was an injury prone. But even if you want to include him now, because of what we've seen, Konate is injury prone, Gomez is injury prone, Matip's made of rich tea biscuits. Our squad depth are all made of rich tea biscuits. Like I said, Fabinho and Henderson always pick up an injury or two in a season, and Thiago's been injury prone his whole career. So we do have a bit of a tricky. I don't know, man. It's difficult because if our 11 can stay fit, then we're title challengers, we're title contenders. If it doesn't stay fit, we then look at top 4 as, do we, you know, is that something we're going to have to fight for again? I don't know. Then we've got the January window coming up. You know, will we sign a player or two? I'm not going to say fucking Haaland or Mbappe or even anybody remotely of them levels, but, you know, picking up another couple of midfielders, maybe Jeremy Doku on the left wing. Could he come in the January window? Dusan Vlahovic. There's a few players out there that we could pick up in the January windows. I don't know.
We did last time. Pearson, Kabak.
Yeah.
You do you mean? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do agree with what you're saying. But at the moment, you're like you said, you're bored. At the moment, it doesn't give a shit. If they gave a shit, when you was going for central defenders in January, why did you go and sign a defender from Preston who never played a game and a absolute dog shit of a defender who played for Turkey, who played for Schalke, who looked awful for you when you played? It looked like you bought a championship player again. It's like, I think you've got us. I love Liverpool, watching Liverpool when they're on fire, because they have got such silky football. But I'm just worried for your strength and depth, and not. I just think this year, with the teams around you improved, I hate saying it, West Ham look like they're going to be a hard team to play against this year. Yeah. You've got Leicester looking like they're getting stronger. There's teams around us at the moment. If Chelsea fall off the cliff, we're going to struggle. I won't sit and say we won't, because I do think we'll be undefeated. But every team is suspect with them if the injuries all happen at once. And with this bloody virus as well, you never know what's going to happen around the corner.
I definitely agree with you, Wayne. It's if we do need to be worried about injuries, and as you've said, there's a lot of teams around us, not the traditional top 6, or top 4, but like you said, your West Hams, your Evertons, they've just got Rafael Benitez, who I know firsthand as a Liverpool fan what he can do. Leicester again, another team that are looking strong. They're strengthened with Patson Daka. you're right. There is a lot of ifs and buts. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. This season is just going to be balls to the wall. We just have to go out on a whim and see what happens. It's literally whether or not we have injuries. Like I said, if we have a full 11, Liverpool are title contenders. If we don't have a full 11, that's when the questions have to be asked. You can say the same thing for Chelsea though, because if Lukaku gets injured, Chelsea will be lucky to finish fourth this season, because you were lucky to finish fourth last season, and that was down to not having a goal scorer. Now we can say Saul coming in is going to change that. We don't know, but Lukaku.
That was not down to not having a goal scorer. That was down to Lampard.
No, but it was as well.
No. It's not. It's actually
because
not.
Jorginho was your top goal scorer.
It's not, because in reality, when you look at the problem we have in our team, it's not scoring goals. It's the lack of a consistent final pass. You don't actually have a problem scoring goals.
Yeah, but Prime as well, as a Chelsea fan, you know, one thing we've all been crying out for summer was a striker. That was our main signing.
But again,
your top goal scorer in the
Premier
League was Jorginho.
Even with Lukaku right now, I still see us a problem not scoring goals, playing the final pass. Because in the Liverpool game itself, we could have won it if Mount made the right decision a few times.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But it was Kante as well.
The Arsenal game went 2-0 up in. If we had made the right decision in the final third, we could have beaten 4-5-0 without trying. So there are still things in our team. Lukaku only scores 25 goals. That's it. There are still problems in the team, even with him.
Yeah, but I think it's right though. If Lukaku does get injured, yeah, we could have Havertz or Werner, but I don't think they're going to be enough. So
again, people don't know that though. They're judging Havertz and Werner based off of one season. If that's the case, then Thiago is finished at the top level. Then Mane, because he had an average season that season.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
Wait, Rachel, your trophy is smaller than your micro. All right, relax. What is she talking about?
Guys, have a good evening.
Yeah, someone here said about. Oh, you guys put in too many comments. Val said that Liverpool are reportedly wanting to sign Jude Bellingham next summer in what could be a record-breaking 80 mil deal, money in the bag. Sky Sports have both reported that. O'Shea, what are your thoughts?
Go back to that Sky Sports thing. Yeah, I think we'll sign Jude Bellingham. I think that's inevitable. I seen a post from a Chelsea fan the other day saying, "Oh, we're going to get Jude Bellingham," and it's like the kid has publicly come out and said he supports Liverpool. Like he's not going to go to a Premier League club other than Liverpool. So either he'll go somewhere else in Europe or he'll stay at Dortmund. Like he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He's openly come out and said
But Sancho is a Chelsea fan and he went to United.
Yeah, Pepe's a Chelsea fan. Like you can't.
Chelsea didn't come in for Sancho. If Chelsea had came in for Sancho and offered him the same wages,
yeah, but O'Shea, this is 18 mil. You guys don't, and if other teams want to sign them as well, and it becomes a bit of a bidding war, and we know what Dortmund are like, they're going to want to extort teams. You guys won't be able to spend up to 100 mil. You guys won't even be able to spend 80 mil on him unless you sell Salah. And you're not going to do that, are you?
Again, bro, because I'm tired of this misconception we won't be able to. We don't spend money because our owners choose not to. There is nothing out there that suggests we can't. All of this PR rubbish, COVID, Liverpool, we don't spend money. So from the mere fact we know the facts are, we don't spend money because of a choice. Then that shows you that the choice can be changed. And we've shown that we do spend money in the past. You know, bar the Coutinho sale. One second, let me finish. That Coutinho sale got us Alisson and Van Dijk. We spent 100 million of our own money on Fabinho and Keita. So, you know, because the Coutinho sale only got us Alisson and Van Dijk.
But why didn't you use that? Why didn't you spend money last summer on buying Werner or Havertz?
Because we've chosen not to. Again, we chose
Okay.
not to. It's not because we
What if
can't
you
spend
get-
money.
So why didn't you spend money this summer?
Because again, we chose not to. The owners have decided not to because they don't
But
spend money.
What if you choose not to spend? What if you choose not to spend 80 to 100 mil on Jude Bellingham?
Then your point will be proven correct, and Jude Bellingham will go to a rival Premier League team, and that will be the end of the conversation. But I believe we will spend money next summer, and I believe that we may sign Jude Bellingham. I've just got a feeling it'll happen. Who's to say that we won't sell Salah anyway, though? Because you've got Mbappe inevitably going to leave PSG, and PSG are going to be in want of a new right winger, seeing as Messi looks like he's going to be playing number 10 for most of his time at PSG. So, Salah could end up going to PSG next summer. That money could be used on a Bellingham and on refreshing some of the squad. We've got the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino, Naby Keita. They will all be getting moved on. Now, you don't have to sell £80 million worth of players to spend £80 million. We've seen that when we sold. Who was it we sold last summer? I think Lovren. Sorry, we sold last summer and then brought in Thiago and Jota. You don't have to spend the equal amount to bring in that money because we sell Origi for 10 million. But then we're gaining more than 10 million because of agents, fees that we're paying, and add-ons, bonuses, wages, all of that. So we move on Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino. That's 4 players next summer. Nico Williams, potentially Nat Phillips. I know he's just signed a new contract, so I don't really know how likely that will happen. If Adrian next summer goes on a free, or we let him leave, and Karius ends up inevitably being sold as well, that's 7-8 players. Yeah, it will be for cheap. It will be for 5 million, 10 million maximum on some of those players. But it's the money we will recuperate from that. Again, we're going to have a full season of fans back at the stadium. I do think we will spend money next summer. Will we spend 80 million on Jude Bellingham? I don't know.
Maybe. Charlie, what do you make of the whole situation?
Wait, say that again.
What do you make of the whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's hard though because like what everyone said that they've got a shit owner that doesn't want to improve, but I don't know about what's going to happen with Liverpool. But like O'Shea said, like if you can get rid of if you think about the wages that like Oxlade-Chamberlain's on like 100k a week or something stupid, and all the other players that you want to get rid of, then maybe they can get the players they need. But I know it's all about the ownership, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is Charlie hiding under the covers again?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake people up.
Bellingham, Liverpool. I mean, if you guys have any other questions, we might end this now.
Listen, this is my show about we might end this now. Don't make me have to slap your dry roasted peanut. I'm joking. Listen, guys, thanks for joining this. Thanks for jumping on the show anyway, you guys. And anyone in the comments, please subscribe and share the show, share the channel. Subscribe to this brother at the top left, Prime. Subscribe to Charlie. I don't know what channels or your Twitter you've got out there, but please subscribe to Charlie. Subscribe to Ladimus Prime, man. Go follow him on his Twitter. This guy's hilarious on Twitter, man. Hilarious. We call him the troll, bruv, because he's just hilarious, man. So please hit the like button. All the socials at the bottom: Indiana, the Devil's Avocado, Ladimus Prime, Will, and of course you can catch me at your girl's yard, ShayJ_O. Let's carry on with the show, guys. So what was
Friday, Fraud Watch is back. O'Shea's hosting. finally. That's going to be an interesting one. And also, I think on Saturday, she might have to confirm the time herself, I think. But Rachel's doing
Who's she? The cat's mother.
Rachel's doing a stream about like abuse and awareness and stuff like that. So I think she's doing it on her own channel that she's making. So everyone tune in for that one, and we'll post more about it when it comes to it.
Yeah. Also, don't forget the EFL show if you want to see Aaron crying on Thursday at 6.
Beautiful show. Yeah, that's gonna be beautiful. Actually, O'Shea, do you want to talk a bit about like maybe don't spoil it, but about Fraud Watch, a little bit of a teaser or something?
Yeah, so it looks like I'm going to have a very good panel on. And it's essentially going to be slightly different to what we've done on Fraud Watch before. So it's still Fraud Watch, but the frauds is mainly going to be centered around the transfer window and what we've done or haven't so much done in and around that. And, there's only been 3 games of the season, so there's not really much we can talk about. I want to talk about the Euros as well. So it's going to be a bit of a mixture of Fraud Watch. I'm going to get a few people on, and some of you guys will be able to jump on as well during the end of the show. But the panel, I'm not going to spoil the panel, but the panel is looking like it's A-list panel. So, yeah, man, tune in for that. It's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Not tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'm smoking budge, fam. It's Friday at 9 p.m. I keep thinking it's Thursday today. It's Friday at 9 p.m. So definitely tune in. Don't be watching Mo Gilligan's latest show. What you tuning into the Fraud Watch, yeah? And yeah, I'll see you guys at 9. And this guy at the top left corner, this guy here will be at the show. That's the one spoiler I can say. This guy with his cheeky smile, he will be on the show. Man like Ladinus Prime. Not to be confused. Not to be confused. Man said you don't. Man said at your girl's yard, allow it. You ain't got the juice like Nippon. Listen, vibes. I'll take your girl and get her pregnant. And 9 months later, you'll be calling the kid son and paying child support. So listen, don't at me, fam. Look, not to be confused with Optimus Prime. But there we go. Let's
end this now before Say says something to get us shut down. Subscribe to Charlie at One Rovers Vlog. Subscribe here to the First XI. Follow us on socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch.
Don't free Navi.
The vibe said, taking someone's gal when you can't turn your camera on,
You'll see my face on Friday. You get me, hair done and thing. Don't chat to me about taking girl, fam. Can't listen.
It's cool. Exactly. O'Shea will be, out of prison because I don't think you can host from a cell on Friday. But it's cool. Bye.
Free my guys.
Time's gone already.
No worries. Hopefully you'll be joining us on Friday as well. You can jump on at the end as well, man. Jump on at the end.
Yeah, that's all, man.
Man said we need a shout out. Yeah, man. Yeah, no worries, man. Definitely jump on the show. Are we still live? Is this still live?
Yeah, it is.
Oh shit!
He always does this.
Velve, shout out to Velve, man. Liverpool fan, fellow Liverpool fan. Shout out to Velve. Yeah, go follow him on Twitter.